Hey guys, it's me, Anthony, one of the Underground Leaders. I'm sorry I haven't really made any videos this week. It's mainly because of two reasons. One, I got a cold, and I'm starting to actually feel better from my cold. And Evan bought me Black and White too, and I couldn't help but play it. So that most of my time went into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off my Frog Monarch deck. Most people either call it Frog Narc or Froggy Monarchs or whatever the hell they call it. I call it Sage Mode because I like it based off Jiraiya, because, you know, in Naruto, Jiraiya had those two frogs on his shoulders. Like, you see me, I have my two tree-born frogs. Like, oh. Like that. So, I could always use tips to make this deck better. It's kind of hard to really throw your own original twist into the deck, since you have to pretty much throw the Frog engine, the Monarch engine. You can't really throw any traps because of Treeborn, and then most of the spells, which are pretty much staples. So I tried to throw, you know, my own little twists and turns into it. It's nothing crazy, but still. So, starting off, I mean 3 Swap Frogs. Swap Frog, to me, it's a necessity. Anybody that mains Froggy Monarchs, you have to, because it's an instant, oh, I can special summon, dump a frog to the grave, or, because this is pretty much basically what will get you Treeborn in the grave as soon as possible. And even if you got Treeborn in the frog already, you could either throw regular frogs into the graveyard for Ronin Totem, or to support Ronin Totem summon. So regardless, that's just great. Sorry, I just wanted to turn on the light. Okay. Next. This is kind of difficult because I am using 3 Dupe Frogs. I don't want 3, actually. Dupe Frog's a great card. I'm giving it that. But I only want to tech 2 and throw in a Maxi. But Maxi, when I found out it was going to get reprinted, I'm not going to go after a secret Maxi now, when I'll just pick up the Super and just main the, you know. So this is going to look like 2 Dupe Frogs and 1 Maxi. Just saying. Next, I play 1 Ronin Totem. People play 2. I just think that it's not a necessity for me. So 1 is fine for me, because there are times where I draw it. It's not the greatest thing to draw into. It's just something you just would like to put in the grave. And with something like Swap Frog, it's not very hard. So I only main 1 of him. Next, my babies. Next, my babies. My 2 ultimate Treeborn Frogs. Now, the story of this deck in general revolved around these 2. Because I had Monarchs before in the past 2 times, and I got rid of them. One time, it was back in the day when I had my main deck, which was called my Master deck. But it wasn't very competitive, and it wasn't doing so well, so I took it apart. Then when I met my friend Kirby, and he knocked me on my ass to the ground, and I built Formula Monarchs, where Fishbone Blaster was around, and Formula Synchron was at 3. I was playing that deck for a while until they hit Formula and Fishborg, and I was just like, oh, the whole deck is screwed over. How am I going to keep up? But then I said, you know, I'm going to go back to this deck. But to be honest, I always really liked Treeborn Frog, but I didn't want to go after the same common or rare like everybody else. I wanted 2 ultimates. So I said, when I build this deck, I'm going to first go after 2 ultimates. That's going to be the main necessity to get out of this deck than anything else. I got 1 by trading, my friend gave me his Secret Thunder King, and I gave him like a common one because I was helping him, and the one person said, hey, I'll give you a Treeborn Frog for your Secret Thunder King. So it's like Spidey gave me 1 Treeborn Frog, and the other one I got from an Underground member on here. His DN name is Moki Moki for the Win. He also has a YouTube channel. I'm giving him a shout out because he really helped me, because he really went out of his way just to give me the ultimate Treeborn Frog. And because of that, I know that these are one of the reasons why when I build a deck, if I have reasons and good emotions with the deck, it makes me hold on to it more, like how I am with my Lightstorms, which I will update and show off here also. So that's my 2 ultimate Treeborn Frogs, my babies. Now for my hand traps, I have 3 Battle Faders. Battle Fader in this deck is a necessary. You cannot main Froggy Monarchs without Fader, because with a deck with no traps, you leave yourself defenseless even shit with Rodent Totem and all that, you think you're safe, but you're not. That's why you need shit like Fader. Because just in case, if they can get over your monsters, Fader's just like protecting your life points, and it's good tribute fodder, so you need it. Next, Effect Veiler. 2 Veilers, I mean. 2 Veilers is because of the necessity for 2 reasons. One, the factor that I could play Formula Synchron and +1, and it gives me the door to some level 8 Synchro monsters. Plus, it also gives me the necessity to negate some of my opponent's effects. Okay. Next, for more hand traps, I run 2 Tragodias. My 2 Tragodias are kind of, because most of the time with this deck, you'll have a decent hand amount. You'll have decent cards in your hand, so you're never going to really play, unless it's like late game, and you and your opponent win pretty evenly, so you're kind of running out of cards, but still good tribute fodder. You could use it to become a level 6 and go into a rank 6. It has its doors and options, so 2 is a good number for Tragodia in this deck. Next, Gores. Gores is a necessity, just like how the other hand traps are, except this. Gores is one of the best cards ever made, in my opinion. I just love how you take damage, you special summon it, and it gives you a token with the same amount that you took. Next, this card I've been going back and forth with because I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And that is Dark Dust Spirit. I hate, because sometimes I'm like, this card isn't very good. But there are times when your opponent will spam the field with shit, and when you top deck Dark Dust Spirit, you're just smiling inside. So sometimes that's how I have a feeling with this card. I love it, but I hate it. I hate it because there are times where I don't want it. And there are times when my opponent spams the field and I'm happy I get it. So it's a weird love-hate relationship between me and Dark Dust Spirit. Next is 2 Vanity's Fiends. Vanity's Fiend, it was weird because when I was building this deck, I was looking up like ideas, like what could I add in this deck to make it a little bit more different. Vanity's Fiend is a card that I might throw it to 1. In the beginning, I was running 1 of him in Obelisk, but I didn't want to run Obelisk anymore, even though that it's easy to bring out in this deck. I just don't like the concept of there's 2 Mirror Force now in this format, and I don't want to tribute 3 monsters, bring out Obelisk, and he gets smacked with a Mirror Force next turn, I'll be like, oh, shit. So, Vanity's Fiend's good because even if you play him, you don't have to bring back Treeborn Frog. And a lot of decks require special summonings. So it's like, yeah, you have to get past, Vanity's Fiend before you do anything. And some decks that really put themselves in a tough spot because they need to special summon. So this could really fuck your opponent up based off what deck they're running. So that's why I like Dark Dust Spirit. That's why I like Vanity's Fiend. Next, my perfect necessity for this deck, my own trump card, and it's not my own trump card, but I'm sure a lot of people love Light and Darkness Dragon, but Light and Darkness Dragon I mean 2 of in this deck because it is amazing. The summoning conditions for it are so simple, and it makes your opponent waste so many cards on this card just to be stopped. Then, when it's destroyed, you grab back a Monarch. You can even grab back a Swap Frog just to reuse its effect. Regardless of whatever you're going to use, like, Lad is what makes this deck so good. Next, for the necessities, people are wondering, where the fuck are the Monarchs? Here they are. Now, I mean 3 Rises. People only mean 2 Rises. I mean 3 because I feel like now we're in a format where Compulse is like, oh shit, everyone loves Compulse now. I loved Compulse back then when, nobody liked it. But this deck, this card is like a Compulse pretty much, except it puts it back to your opponent's deck. So this could fuck Exceeds, Synchros, Fusions, or regular cards and just put them back a little. I can't wait to use this card with Constellar M7. You put this and a Caius together, bring out M7, then, after using Caius or Rise of that turn, detach, put it back, and then Treeborn will come back and just keep doing that, just keep fucking with my opponent each turn. So, I liked Ryza, but nothing came to the point where how much I liked Caius the Shadow Monarch, which I run 3 of. Caius is just a necessity. When I first saw Caius in that structure deck, I was just like, my god, I don't even run Froggy Monarchs or any kind of Monarch deck, but my god, I just want this card alone. And I just always liked Caius. Caius was a necessity. I always liked the concept of Frogs and Monarchs, so I was just going to go after that regardless. Alright, now for the spells.